What does a Supercross championship mean?
Everything's very tight, biggest championship that we have, and that's Supercross.
We're not here to celebrate champions today. Instead, we're here to talk about the riders who came agonizingly close, the legends whose careers were defined not by the titles they won, but by the championships that slipped through their fingers. They're the best riders to never win a Premier Supercross title, whether it was when the class was a 252 stroke or the modern 454 stroke, and their stories are a mix of incredible talent, heartbreaking setbacks, and the biggest what-ifs in the sport. We'll break down the journeys of these guys from the 90s to today to see what made their title bids so compelling and ultimately so tragic. Damon Bradshaw, nicknamed the Beast from the East, is a name that still brings a mix of awe and heartbreak to Supercross fans. In the early 1990s, Bradshaw was a true prodigy, a rider whose style was a captivating blend of raw talent and pure speed.
Led by Jean-Michel Bayle, then comes Stanton, then Bradshaw, are 1, 2, 3 in the 250cc National Championship point standings.
He was a fan favorite, known for his wild, untamed energy and fearless approach. He didn't just race. He attacked every turn and jump with a thrilling, almost reckless abandon. He was a rock star in a sport that was exploding in popularity, and he seemed destined for greatness.
Here, there's no rules. We can do exactly what we want. We can ride anywhere we want. It's like these hills. If you want to go up that hill, you can, if you can make it.
The turning point of his career was the 1992 season. Damon dominated, winning an incredible 9 main events. The championship was his for the taking. He held a massive 25-point lead over his rival, the reigning champion Jeff Stanton, who was known for his calm, methodical approach. Bradshaw had all the momentum, all the speed, and the unwavering confidence of a champion in the making. For most of the season, it felt like a foregone conclusion that he would secure his first Premier Class title. As the season drew to a close, the immense pressure started to show cracks in the Beast's armor.
Every time I go out, or every time I'm practicing, or every time I'm play riding, I'm trying to figure out something new. It's like I'm pushing myself to the edge.
Uncharacteristic mistakes began to chip away at his seemingly insurmountable lead. He endured poor starts and multiple crashes in his final races, including a telling moment in Orlando where he threw his goggles off in frustration. The championship began to slip from his grasp in a series of devastating moments.
Front wheel of Jean-Michel Bayle. Yeah, that looked a bit out. Down comes the bike on the back of Bradshaw's head, and this is the bit that Bradshaw wasn't too impressed with.
Stanton, the consummate professional, capitalized on every error, slowly and methodically closing the gap. In the final rounds, a devastating crash sealed Bradshaw's fate. When the checkered flag flew, Stanton was crowned champion.
Stanton, hang on. It really is nail-biting stuff. Some slow man ahead, and this could be crucial.
And a heartbroken Damon Bradshaw was left to contemplate what had gone so wrong. Bradshaw's legacy is one of the sport's most compelling what-if stories. His career shows that raw talent isn't always enough to secure victory. It highlights the brutal pressure of the mental game that can break even the most gifted athletes. Bradshaw redefined the pressure riders face at the top. Kevin Windham, affectionately known as K-Dub, is widely considered the greatest rider to never win a Premier Class championship. With 19 career 450SX wins, his presence on the track was pure elegance. His riding style was smooth, effortless, and almost poetic, making the extreme demands of racing look easy.
With all this height, I felt like I had the pressure, like I got to go carry this team, and that's all on me. That's all my pressure. That's all me, and it's not accurate. I just need to go out.
Beyond his immense skills, fans were drawn to his laid-back, humble personality, which made him one of the sport's most beloved figures. Windham raced during the sport's toughest eras, battling legends at their peak. He emerged on the scene in the late 1990s, just as Jeremy McGrath was in the prime of his career.
Now you can see how close they're getting to Windham, so it does look like Windham's got a problem. That's got to be the problem. Windham looks fine. He just looks like he has no horsepower.
Then, as McGrath's reign began to wane, a new force, Ricky Carmichael, took over and dominated. Following Carmichael came the likes of James Stewart, Chad Reed, and Ryan Villapoto, all legends in their own right.
Chad Reed, here he comes. Windham misses that triple coming out of the whoops. He's got the line. Reed squares it off, comes back in.
For over a decade, Windham spent his entire career battling these titans at the absolute peak of their powers. He finished as the championship runner-up 3 times in Premier Supercross, in 2004 and 2008 to Chad Reed, and in 2010 to Ryan Dungey.
It's a great drive here on the Anaheim split. They come together one more time, and it's Windham who's got the inside line.
As Windham was the only rider who could consistently challenge Carmichael's dominance. The two engaged in some unforgettable battles, but ultimately, Carmichael's relentless speed and unmatched competitive drive were too much to overcome. A perfect example of his grit and grace came during a 2010 race in Seattle, where he battled through a muddy, technical track to secure a thrilling win, showcasing his style and resilience outside of a title fight.
I don't know if Kevin's happier or I'm happier, man. You made it on the podium this year, and everyone's pulling for you. I mean, you know, opening ceremonies, everyone's behind you.
Despite never capturing a title, Kevin Windham's legacy is far from one of failure. Instead, it is a powerful story of incredible longevity, consistency, and unwavering class. He remained a top contender for more than a decade, competing with a style and grace that earned him the respect and admiration of millions. Windham proved that grace and longevity can define greatness. David Vuillemin, Europe's most stylish challenger to American Supercross dominance. David Vuillemin, famously known as Le Cobra, was an international sensation who helped change American Supercross forever. In the early 2000s, he was one of the first European riders to not just compete,
David Vuillemin, number 931, Jeremy McGrath in second behind the young Frenchman,
but truly challenged the long-standing dominance of American racers. His riding style was a striking departure from the raw, aggressive approach of the era. Instead of brute force, Vuillemin rode with a graceful precision, a ballet of controlled power and technical finesse that made him incredibly fast and captivating to watch. The pinnacle of his career arrived in the 2002 season.
after the long shoot. Look at Nathan Roczen on 20.
Supercross kicked off in January, and all eyes were on Ricky Carmichael, the reigning champ who seemed untouchable. But Le Cobra came out swinging. He shocked the industry with speed and consistency that put him at the top of the point standings. For a big chunk of the season, he held the coveted red plate, proving he had the toughness to challenge the king. He went head-to-head with Carmichael multiple times, even beating him outright. Fans loved it.
Look at this loop section. Vuillemin is so good in the loops. That's Ron Connor, number 21. He almost collides with...
Seeing him as the ultimate anti-hero, a European challenger taking on the American establishment. However, like so many others on this list, Vuillemin's title hopes were derailed by late-season injuries and a few costly mistakes. Carmichael, known for his relentless consistency and mental toughness, capitalized on every single setback. He methodically clawed his way back into the points lead and, in the end, secured the championship.
Is Ricky Carmichael indestructible? You'd think so after last week's face plant. We have 3 riders within 9 points to battle for third.
Despite falling short, Vuillemin's legacy is huge. He's celebrated for the mark he left on the sport. He proved that talent knows no geographical boundaries and paved the way for a new generation of European champions, forever changing the global landscape of the sport and inspiring riders from all corners of the world to compete in America. Ezra Lusk, the fastest rider never crowned, known for explosive speed and technical smoothness. In the late 1990s, when Jeremy McGrath seemed unbeatable, one name consistently stood out as a legitimate threat: Ezra Lusk. Ezra had the kind of raw talent that made him a genuine contender on any given night. He possessed a killer instinct and a fluid grace that allowed him to match the pace of the greatest rider of all time. His 1999 season stands as the pinnacle of his potential. That year, Ezra was in top form, winning an impressive 4 main events and pushing McGrath harder than almost anyone else. He wasn't just a challenger, he was a consistent menace who proved that McGrath's throne was not untouchable. In that single season, he cemented his status as a true force, racking up podiums and showcasing a speed that few could match. However, Lusk's career was constantly derailed by injuries and a maddening lack of consistency.
Chad Reed, it was close. Ezra was right there. Look at this. All the players are there. Lusk, Carmichael, Reed.
He would have a series of incredible race-winning performances only to suffer a season-ending injury or a string of bad luck that would abruptly take him out of the title hunt. He simply couldn't stay healthy enough to endure the grueling demands of a 16-round championship season. A series of devastating crashes, including a particularly brutal one in 2000 that resulted in a serious knee injury, kept him from ever mounting a full sustained title charge. He would often show flashes of brilliance, but the physical wear and tear of the sport always seemed to catch up to him. Ultimately, Ezra Lusk's legacy is that of a rider with all the speed and talent to match the very best, but whose physical durability couldn't hold up. He remains a powerful what-if story, a reminder of the brutal demands of a sport that tests not only a rider's skill, but their resilience. His story is a poignant one. A testament to the fact that in a high-risk, high-reward sport like Supercross, the greatest talent is nothing without the ability to stay on the track. Davi Millsaps shocked the sport in 2013, leading the points as an underdog backed by a small team. For years, Millsaps was seen as a solid competitor, reliable for top tens and the occasional podium, but not someone the industry expected to fight for titles.
You're going to see Millsaps come up the inside. Okay, what's going to happen right here?
But Millsaps
there you go.
Side by side. Millsaps still.
Even his runner-up finish in 2012 was chalked up more to consistency than to dominance. Then came 2013, and everything the industry thought it knew about him was turned on its head. Riding for a small independent team without the deep resources of the factory giants, Davi came out of the gate with an unexpected fire.
Who's going to get the start? That looks like Canard with a great one on the outside.
Millsaps grabs it.
Bradshaw, Canard, all right there. Dungy's in the mix up front.
He opened the season with a stunning win at Anaheim 1, then carried the red plate through much of the year. He was the ultimate underdog, a blue-collar grinder whose grit and newfound speed had the entire field on notice. For a large chunk of the season, Millsaps was the legitimate points leader. He went head-to-head with Ryan Vuillemin, the reigning champion at the peak of his powers, and beat him outright multiple times. Fans loved it. His run felt like a breath of fresh air. A symbol of hope for every privateer who ever dreamed of knocking off the factory elite. But the grueling demands of a title chase eventually took their toll. A nagging knee injury and the sheer weight of the season slowed him down in the final stretch. Vuillemin, known for his relentless consistency and mental toughness, capitalized on every opening, clawing back the points lead and closing out another championship. Despite falling short, Millsaps' legacy is powerful. That season proved talent, and hard work could overcome even the deepest factory budgets. To this day, he's remembered as the rider who, for one incredible year, carried the hopes of every underdog and showed that anyone can rise up and challenge for a championship. Ken Roczen is often called the comeback king of modern Supercross, known for his incredible speed and resilience. With more than 20 career wins and 2 second-place finishes in the 450 Supercross class, his journey has been a roller coaster of amazing highs and devastating lows. From the moment he came to the U.S. as a teenage phenom from Germany, he was billed as the future of the sport. His riding style, an effortless blend of speed, finesse, and aggression, made him look untouchable at times, and fans quickly embraced him as one of the most exciting riders of his generation. Like another Supercross legend, Kevin Windham, Roczen's career has been plagued by what-if moments due to multiple career-threatening injuries. His 2017 season is a heartbreaking example. He started the year with 2 dominant wins and looked unstoppable. A championship seemed like a foregone conclusion, but a horrific crash in Anaheim resulted in a devastating arm injury that required 11 surgeries and nearly ended his career.
Here at the bottom, gets a big kick right there and just slams right into that.
The images of Roczen fighting through rehab became legendary, and every time he lined up on the gate again, crowds roared as if welcoming back a prize fighter. Despite this and other setbacks, Roczen has consistently fought his way back to the top of the sport, while rivals like Vuillemin, Dungy, Webb, and Tomac piled up championships. Roczen's story became one of survival and defiance. He continues to win races against the world's best, proving his enduring talent. His recent victory in Indianapolis in 2024, which ended a long winless streak against a stacked field, is a perfect example of his fighting spirit. Although he has never captured that elusive 450 Supercross title, His career remains a testament to resilience and unwavering determination, cementing him as the greatest almost of the modern era. Trey Canard, the Heartbreak Kid, was a rookie sensation whose career was constantly derailed by injury. In 2011, as a rookie, Trey Canard burst onto the Supercross scene as a breakout star and a new hope for the future. He immediately captivated fans with his perfect blend of control and aggression, a kind of speed that made him a constant threat to beat the sport's most dominant riders.
Was on for the lead. Trey Canard trying to get James Stewart for the #1 spot here at Spring Creek. Justin Bradshaw was...
Canard wasn't just fast. He rode with a fearless yet precise style that made him a force to be reckoned with from day one.
Here comes Canard. He's not giving up on this championship to the inside. He can't. He's got to give it everything he's...
He won races and consistently battled with titans like Ryan Villapoto, Chad Reed, and Ryan Dungey, proving he was a legitimate contender. He was a fan favorite, loved not only for his incredible talent, but also for his humble personality and unwavering spirit. His rookie season showed everyone that a new era of racing had arrived, with Trey at the forefront.
Canard, he's going to do it. His second win of 2011. Trey Canard wins here in Jacksonville.
But his career, filled with such promise, was tragically plagued by a relentless series of brutal and heartbreaking injuries. A broken femur, a string of repeated concussions, and a cascade of other debilitating crashes meant he could never put together a full, healthy season to mount a proper championship charge. Every time he seemed to find his rhythm and momentum, misfortune would strike, robbing him of valuable time on the track and forcing him into yet another grueling recovery.
Canard, right into the manager's tower there. That was frightening.
His story isn't about a rider who lacked speed or heart. It's a profound narrative about the resilience of a racer who gave everything to the sport he loved, only to have his career cut short by an overwhelming and seemingly endless cycle of bad luck. He pushed through unimaginable pain and adversity time and again, always with the goal of returning to the starting gate. Trey Canard's legacy is defined by his unwavering fight and his unbreakable spirit, a true inspiration to fans and fellow riders who saw in him the heart of a champion.
He's got the pass made, and the Canard goes off the track. He made the pass and went off.
Even if the title itself remained tragically out of reach. His narrative stands as a powerful reminder of how incredibly cruel and unforgiving the sport of Supercross can be. In the late 2000s, Marvin Musquin was a constant presence at the front of the pack, a respected European who brought a smooth, precise, and effortless style to the sport. He was a master of technique, making the most difficult sections look easy and consistently challenging for race wins. His riding was a clinic in control and finesse, a stark contrast to the aggressive brute force approach of many of his American rivals. This signature style not only made him a formidable competitor, but also a fan favorite. Marvin's career was defined by his unwavering consistency and his ability to be a threat to every single rider, but a championship title always remained just out of his grasp. His best shot at the ultimate prize came during the 2018 season, where he put together a spectacular campaign
Up to Anderson and applied some pressure to the points leader, Tomac.
that saw him finish second in points, narrowly losing the title to Jason Anderson in a nail-biting finish. That year, he was on fire, notching multiple 450SX wins and proving to be an especially formidable opponent on the most technical tracks.
It's back-to-back wins in 2018 for Jason Anderson as he lights the...
where his impeccable form gave him a distinct advantage. Musquin was the ultimate bridesmaid consistently near the top, but the championship was just out of reach. Fans knew he had the speed, skill, and heart, yet that season-long push to take the top spot always eluded him. He was a force to be reckoned with for a decade, a rider who could beat anyone on any given night, but the championship trophy remained the one prize he couldn't bring home. He was ultimately a victim of a generation of incredibly deep talent, racing against the likes of Ryan Dungey, Eli Tomac, and Jason Anderson, all in their prime. His legacy is one of a consistent contender and a fan favorite who was always right there, battling to the very end.
He goes on Webb! Together and off the track goes Musquin! Get at least Tomac. He was 5 seconds down to Tomac.
But always just a little shy of the ultimate prize. Marvin's career reminds us that in a sport where so much is decided by the smallest of margins, Being incredibly talented is not always enough to be crowned champion. They never got the 450 crown, but they gave us moments that made Supercross unforgettable. These riders proved you don't need a title to be a legend. So what do you think? Who's the greatest rider to never win it all? Drop your take in the comments. The story doesn't end here. Watch our next video for another chapter in Supercross history. Thanks for watching and stay wicked.